Hello out there in the community, it's Chris, it's the Magic Spec. Here at the table, we're going to be talking about my favorite reads of this year. You probably watched about 2,000 of these in the last week, but I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. Keep it to five. 5 things I read this year that I particularly enjoyed. And of course, no list is complete without a couple honorable mentions. So, honorable mention for older stuff that I read this year would be BPRD, the Bureau of Paranormal Research Defense by John Arcudi, Mike Mignola, and Guy Davis. It's a really great series. The first 4 huge ominous volumes are called The Plague of Frogs Saga. And I'm through volume 3, and next time I go to the library I'll hit volume 4. It's really great horror stuff. And as far as new comics out this year, in no particular order, honorable mention Sword by Al Ewing and Valeria Shitty. I haven't read the X of Swords. I haven't even read all of Hickman's X-Men run, and they're way behind as a library getting trade paperbacks for the Dawn of X, but I did read this one just on its own. I recognized about maybe a quarter of the characters in the book, but it was still a pretty entertaining read that I could follow more or less, and I did read the old Astonishing X-Men run, which introduced Sword, so I know those characters to some extent. And a couple indies, also honorable mention 7 Secrets by Tom Taylor and Daniel DiNicola. This one I bought off the shelf for the first few issues, and I liked it so much now I'm putting it on pre-order. It's an entertaining little action comic. I would kind of equate it a little bit with Firepower, but Firepower is a bit more straight martial arts, and this is more kind of also sci-fi and thriller. So, but interesting manga and styled art mixed with like a more normal independent horror type story. Not horror, independent, like a thriller action type story. There we go. I was looking down at this is why I said horror. And we got The Still Water by Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez, and Mike Spicer. Really enjoy this series. It's not straight up in your face horror. It's almost more of a dramedy, but it has the trappings of horror, and pretty much got me from issue 1. I got this one off the shelf, and then when I went back the next month to the LCS, 2 was all gone, so I had to do the eBay route for that, and now I'm holding the other issues through pre-order. Alright, so that will finish up our honorable mentions. So, number 1. Well, actually, these are in no particular order. My 5 best reads of the year, we have, start with Death Metal, Dark Knight's, this Dark Knight's Death Metal by Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, FCO Placencia, and Jonathan Glapian on the inks. I'm sure a lot of people might have this on their best of the year list, but I've been really enjoying it. I really enjoyed the original Metal. I enjoyed Scott Snyder's what I consider epic run on the Justice League title, and I like Justice League No Justice. I've liked it all. I like it all in like big deluxe volumes, so I could have his whole run at once. But as far as my favorite comic of the year for this year, it's going to defer to this Dark Knight's Death Metal Last Stories of the DC Universe one-shot special. Some of the stories were hit and miss, but most of them, as a longtime DC reader, hit me in the right place. But the one that I would consider probably easily one of my favorite stories of the whole year was the short Mark Waid, Francis Manapool Superman story. Basic premise is he knows they're about to go into their final battle here and the next day, so he wants to do as much good as possible. And he realizes he can't do it alone, so he splits himself into different versions of Superman until there's like 100 versions of Superman, so he can try to stop as much of the bad things happening to other people as he possibly can before going to be back with his family and feel comfortable with that. And I'm sure for all the people who disliked Bendis' take on the character, those 12 pages by Mark Waid were a rallying cry for what Superman is supposed to be. And I hear that they're going to give Mark Waid and Francis Manapul their own title in the new year, and those 12 pages have put me 100% on board. Alright, next we have Something is Killing the Children by James Tinian IV, Werther Deladera, and Miguel Muerto. It is #1 reprint, Volume 2 trade paperback. And then I started collecting on #11 with the nice Jenny Frison Virgin variant. And 12 and 13 will be coming for pre-order. But this title I heard about when I first started watching the Community in June, like late June, early July. This is one of the titles that I heard talked about a lot. And special shout out to Dylan's Comics, because he had a video of his favorite, more recent horror titles that we should be checking out. And unbeknownst to him, he is the main reason I've gone back to monthly comics, because of his horror expertise. So there's like one really cool part here in Volume 2 that I'll throw up on the screen briefly. So when it says something is killing the children, they don't really pull the punches there, as you can see there. You're going to see the children go. So it's brutal in that sense, but overall it's well plotted, perfectly illustrated, great horror, and I hope to someday see it in another media, as you can tell. And next we have Hotell by John Lees. This was first trip back to the LCS. At the start of this journey, Hotell 1 and Hotell 2 were on the shelf waiting for me, and I grabbed those along with, I believe Death Metal 1 was there on that same day, so it was a good day to get back that day. And then it went to 3, and it went to 4, 4-issue mini, but for the purposes of my favorite part of the year, favorite comics of the year, we'll go to #2. And a little 2-page spread there in the middle of that. Just like something I've never seen before in a horror comic lately. Yeah, right here. This little axe murder, and he smacks her head and her face splatters onto the ceiling. Just some crazy, amazing horror work here from John Lees. And then, thanks to Dylan, who recommended Hotell, he also told me about his previous series, Sink, which I have in the 2 deluxe hardcover editions. As good as Hotell is, I really think Sink is his masterpiece, John Lees. And incredible art by Alex Cormack. I'll show you a little bit of that in my non-sealed trade paperback of #1. I'll show you the clowns. Just crazy. It's just a really corrupt town in Glasgow, where organized crime and insane killer clowns have taken over the night, and you don't want to be found there after dark. Love, love, love. Hotell, Sink. Or in this case, John Lees. Alright, #4, Sing Backwards and Weep, a memoir by Mark Lanegan, who for over 20 years now has been my favorite musician, some of you may know him from his 90s work with Screaming Trees back in the grunge era. And after that, he's had a successful solo career for going on 20 consecutive years now. So, and this book is his autobiography of his years growing up, and then with Screaming Trees up until the late 90s when he cleaned up, more or less for the first time seriously. And this copy was donated to me by my best friend, my lifetime best friend, who I don't see as much anymore. And this was one of the two things we connected on in high school and after this, and the comics. And I can kind of relate to the subject matter here of being an addict and addict life, because I was, for 3 years, gone down the rabbit hole of heroin addiction for pretty heavily until I tried to throw it all away, until I was thrown consecutive lifelines by my brother and my wife, and I feel much better now. Well, I am clean. I had 3 years, start of December. But my friend Doug, this was his copy. He bought it and read it once, and for a person like Doug who never lived that kind of life, it was probably kind of frightening for him, and something that he would probably never ever want to read again. So he just asked me if I wanted it, and of course I said yes, I'll take it. I had checked out the audiobook from the library and read it that way. So now I have my own copy of it, but it's really quite good. It's unflinching life of a rock star and an addict who never quite made the big time. So if you've never heard Mark Lanegan, listen to anything. His voice is unmistakable and his own. And if I were to recommend two things, I would recommend Sweet Oblivion by the Screaming Trees and Blues Funeral by the Mark Lanegan Band, and also Whiskey for the Holy Ghost by Mark Lanegan. And last but not least, the top 5, we'll go for Batman by James Tinian IV, Jorge Jimenez, Guillaume March et al. I jumped on late because I didn't start collecting comics till July, but I caught up in October when they put out Their Dark Designs hardcover format, which collected a large part of the first part of the run. And I started collecting at the start of the Joker War, which happens immediately following Their Dark Designs. So all of the Joker War with the Matina variant covers onward. Number 100. This was a tie-in called the Joker Warzone, which has a cool Joker talking to Bane story by Tinian, which is kind of just like a smackdown of Bane's and Tom King's entire run beforehand. So this one, I don't know what more to say about it. It was just, from the get-go, Tinian stepped on the gas and hasn't let up. It's all, the whole thing is really great. Joker War had a kind of ending that was kind of like, anyone should have seen it as a no-brainer, because you can't really take out the Joker entirely. But people complained about that aspect of it, but you gotta expect that Batman's not gonna ever cross that line. But this is the type of Batman story that makes me comfortable knowing that, although I stepped away from comics for quite a while, that Batman will always never disappoint, at least. And he is my favorite character, and if there was a hero who I would peg as role model, which is kind of stupid because they're a fictional character, it would be the Batman. So there's my list for 2020. as far as like say channel goals going into 2021, I may consider making some sort of intro to my videos. But other than that, I'm not gonna have like I'm not gonna step on the gas or anything to like go crazy with this channel. I'm just having fun so far, and getting to know other YouTubers has been pretty fun and kind of funny. Day before yesterday, I actually went live at the end of someone else's stream for the first time, so that was fun to experience. But I hope everyone was safe this year and he made it through. And we'll catch you in the next video. So let me know what you thought of my list, and let me know what your lists are. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, put on the notifications, and give me a big thumbs up if you like. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm going to the library next week, so that'll probably be next video. So everybody take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next year.